In this video, we're going to learn about Stack Overflow errors in C. So Stack Overflow is the name of a famous website used by programmers to help each other. But a Stack Overflow is a type of error that can occur across different programming languages, including C. So the data associated with each function call our program makes is stored in a stack data structure known as the call stack. If all of the space allocated for the call stack is consumed by function calls, a stack overflow will occur, which will typically cause the program to crash. Let's go over a couple examples of how this can occur. So a stack overflow error can occur if a recursive function calls itself so many times that the call stack is overwhelmed with data. So for example, let's make a recursive function to find the sum of the values stored in an array. So the function will return an int. We'll call the function sum. The function will accept the array as an argument, as well as the length of the array, and the current index in the array that the function is looking at. So if I is equal to length, we're going to say that we've reached the end of the array, and this is going to be the base case of the function where recursion is going to stop. So here, we're just going to return 0. Otherwise, we're going to return the value in the array at the index I plus sum when it's called with the array, length, and I plus 1. And this will be the recursive step of our algorithm where the function calls itself again. The idea with this function is that we'll call it with the array, the length of the array, and I initially set to 0. And the function is going to call itself for each element in the array and sum them all together. Let's now test this function out in main. So in main, we'll declare an array of ints called a of length 10. We'll also declare a variable of type int called length, and we'll assign it the value 10. Then we'll create a for loop to initialize the values in the array. So we'll have for int I is equal to 0, I is less than length, and I plus plus. And we're using this loop and its counter variable I to go over each index in the array. And we're going to set every array element to 1. Then we'll call our sum function, and we should get back the sum 10. So here we'll have printf, and then sum colon with %d to output an int, \n to output a new line, and then we'll call sum with our array A, the length of the array, and 0 as the initial I value. We can then save, compile, and run our program. So here we'll have GCC, and we'll compile it, and then we'll run it, and we get a sum of 10, which is correct. But what if our array had a length of 1 million? So here we could have 1, 2, and then 3 more zeros, and now we have 1 million. And we'll also update length here. So we'll have 1, 2, and then 3 more zeros, and length is also 1 million. If we save our program now and compile it and run it, now we get this, segmentation fault 11. What that error means is that our program tried to access some memory that it should not access. And that occurred because we had too much data in our call stack and we had a Stack Overflow error. So it's really the recursion that's the issue here. It's not that we have an array of size 1 million. So for example, we could write some iterative code in main to calculate the sum of the array, and that's going to work okay. So let's do that. Here we'll have int array sum is equal to 0. Then we'll loop through the elements in our array, and we'll add them all to array sum. So we'll have a loop here that's going to go over each array index again, and we'll add to array sum the values stored in the array at that index. So array sum should now store the sum of all the values in the array. We could output array sum here. We could have printf, and then sum colon %d \n, and this time we'll output array sum. And if we save this and compile our program and run it, now it works okay. We get a sum of 1 million, which is correct. So it really is the amount of recursive function calls that's the issue here. To better understand things, let's go over a simpler example of a main function calling a function, which then calls another function. So here we'll have int main, and this function is going to have a couple local variables. We'll have int r is equal to 8, and int t is equal to 3, and main is going to call a function f1, and it's going to pass it r and t. Then we'll define the function f1, and f1 is going to accept two int arguments, and it's going to call f2 and supply it with those same arguments. Then we'll have our function f2, which is also going to accept two int arguments, and it's going to output them. So we'll have here printf, and then %d, and then a and b. Now, what these functions are doing doesn't really matter. What's important is understanding what's happening on the call stack when we call these functions. So main is going to call f1, and then f1 calls f2. So all of these function calls have data that is associated with them. So for example, the values of parameters, return values, and local variables. All of that data has to be kept track of somewhere, and it's kept track of in the call stack, where each function call is represented with a stack frame that stores the data associated with that function call. So when a function calls a function, a stack frame will be created, and that stack frame will be placed on top of the previous stack frame in the call stack data structure. So it looks like this. So for example, initially, we'll just have main. Then main calls f1, and f1 will be stacked on top of main. Then f1 will call f2, and f2 will be stacked on top of f1. Then eventually f2 will be done its work, and then we'll only have f1 and main on the call stack. Then f1 will be done its work, and we'll only have main on the call stack. So each function call produces a stack frame, and the stack frames stack on top of each other in this data structure. So here is a very, very simplified version of the call stack after main has called f1. So the stack frame for main is going to keep track of the values of the local variables r and t of the main function. Now, because main called f1, a stack frame for f1 is going to be created and placed on top of the stack frame for main in the call stack data structure. Now, the stack frame for f1 is going to keep track of the values of the parameters x and y for this function call to f1. And the call stack data structure would then place the next function call on top of this stack frame in the stack. And that's going to be when f1 calls f2. So down here, we can see that. So after we call f2, the call stack is going to look like this. We'll have the stack frame for f2 placed on top of the stack frame for f1 with the values for the parameters a and b kept track of in the stack frame. And now there's a new top of the stack. Now the issue is this call stack data structure can only store so much information. It only has so much memory allocated to it. And if our program exceeds the amount of memory allocated for the call stack, we're going to have a Stack Overflow error. Now going back to our code, that's going to occur if we have many, many recursive function calls. So let's go back to our code. Let's delete all of this, and we'll go back to our example. So here, our recursive sum function is going to keep calling itself again and again. And if we examine how the function works, it can't really return a value until it receives the return value of the next recursive function call that it makes. That means on the call stack, we can expect to have as many stack frames as there are elements in the array, with each stack frame waiting for the one above it to return. The problem is if the array is too large, this is simply going to overwhelm the call stack, and the call stack will not have enough capacity to store all these stack frames, and we'll get a Stack Overflow error, which will in turn often cause a segmentation fault error when a program tries to access memory that does not belong to it, which is similar to if our program tries to access an array index that exceeds the length of the array. Now, if we use a type of recursion called tail recursion, it's actually possible for a compiler to compile the program such that the recursive function calls do not take up additional space on the call stack, which will prevent a Stack Overflow error from occurring. I'll make another video that covers tail recursion. This type of Stack Overflow error can occur if we have infinite recursion, where a function calls itself an infinite number of times, or if we have very deep recursion, like in this example, where a function calls itself recursively many times. A Stack Overflow error can also occur if we just have very large variables on the stack. So for example, let's make a function here called function1. And function1 is going to have a large int array. So we'll have here int big array, and this array is going to have length 1 million. Then down here, if we call function1 in main, this will not be enough yet to cause a Stack Overflow error. We'll have here function1. And then if we save our program and compile it and run it, there's no Stack Overflow error yet. But if we then make a function2 that also has a big array, we'll have here void function2, and function2 will also have a big array of size 1 million. And then from function1, we'll call function2. Now this will be enough to cause a Stack Overflow error. If we save our program and compile it and run it, now we're back to having a Stack Overflow error again. And it's not the size of the array alone that's the issue, because before we called function1 just fine when it had its own big array. But now function1 is calling function2, and function2 is also creating a big array. And the combination of these two arrays, in addition to the large array in main, is exceeding the size of the call stack, which then causes a Stack Overflow error to occur. Now the exact size of the stack can vary from one system to another. It's going to depend on things like your operating system and your compiler settings. So hopefully this video has helped you to learn about Stack Overflow errors and some of the ways they can occur in C. Check out portfoliocourses.com, where we'll help you build a portfolio that will impress employers, including courses to help you develop C programming projects.